Order accepted.
Since one of the main purposes of the Staircase is to introduce new players to Starcraft, we're going to go over some of the basics in this first part. Click here if you want to skip this section. Okay, time to go over some of the basic ground rules to help you get off on the right foot. Number 1. This area over here in the bottom right part of the screen is called the command card. Please put your right hand over your heart and repeat after me. No matter how many lings flood my base, no matter how big the Protoss death ball that's coming to kill me is, and whether or not Terran has 3/3 bio, I will never, for any reason real or imaginary, of Terran descent or Xel'Naga creation, from now until Amon come, issue even a single click in this mechanics forsaken place that is called the command card. Good! Number 2. You can find your attack hotkey by looking at your command card. Select some units and press the button that appears over this symbol. Next, left-click the ground behind your enemy. This is called an attack move. For the time being, use this with all army units. These are the 2 great commandments of StarCraft 2. Do them in honor of Flash. On to economy. StarCraft 2 has 3 resources: minerals, gas, and supply. On step 1, we'll be dealing with only minerals and supply to make it easier. All of your resources can be seen by looking at the top right portion of your screen. The minerals here, the gas here, your current supply here, and your maximum supply here. Next, you're going to need to know what control groups and location keys are. Fortunately, we have 2 short videos on that. If you don't fully understand control groups and location keys, pause this video and go watch those videos. No, I'm serious, you should go do that. Welcome back. For this step, we'll be using 3 control groups, a location key for each base, and 1 for a rally point. 1 control group is for your command centers. Use this to make SCVs. 1 is for your barracks, use this to make Marines, and the last one is for your army, which for the time being is just made up of Marines, but we'll get to the fancy stuff later. Take a look at the keys you need to press to make these things happen. If it helps, write it down in a notebook so you can glance over at it if you forget. Also, quickly take note of what key to build an SCV with. Time to start up a game of StarCraft 2. This can be on the ladder, versus AI, versus your friends, in a 1 versus 1, team games, or free-for-all, whichever you decide you like the most. As the game is loading, hold down the key to build an SCV and focus. When the game has loaded, click on the command center. Because you are still holding the key to build an SCV when you do this, an SCV will be started immediately. Try to keep SCVs continuously building out of your command center. This is harder than it sounds. Next, add the command center into a control group and create all of your locations for bases. Remember to always use the control group to build SCVs. Do not click on the building on the main screen. When you have 100 minerals and 1 SCV in the queue, build a supply depot. This will increase your maximum supply by 8. When you have 150 minerals and 1 SCV in the build queue, build a barracks and add it to your barracks control group. This will allow you to build your first army unit, the Marine. Once a barracks is done, keep the Marines coming, just like the SCVs. Remember to always use the control group to build Marines. Do not click on the building on the main screen once it's in a control group. Set your rally point by right-clicking and create a location key for this area. Whenever a Marine is produced, jump to your rally cam and add it to your army control group. Just like the other 2 control groups, don't click on the Marines themselves once they're in a control group. Use the control group to move them and issue commands. This will change on step 2. When you have 100 minerals, 1 SCV in the queue, and 1 Marine in the queue, build another supply depot. From now on, build a depot whenever your maximum supply is 10 away from your current supply. This works out to be about 1 SCV building depots for each base with 16 SCVs mining minerals. You can use this trick to help you remember. When you're between 16 and 24 SCVs mining minerals, build a command center and add it to your command center control group. The 25th SCV that you send to mine minerals does nothing but bounce between patches and look for a place to mine. So ideally, you want to have your next command center finish before you reach 24 SCVs at your current base or bases. Once you reach 3 bases with 16 SCVs mining minerals at each base, stop making SCVs. Your 4th command center should finish before your first base runs out of minerals, build your 5th before your 2nd runs out of minerals, etc. By now you've likely built up a bit of an army, so go out and defeat your enemy with attack moves. You can click on the minimap instead of the ground to make things easier for you. Do not look at your army once it leaves your base. Use your minimap to keep track of your army. If you notice that your army has stopped moving, use your control group to select them and issue another attack move command with the minimap. Once you've got the hang of this, it's time to get creative. Here are all the rules for Step 1 Terran. Number 1, you may not mine gas. Number 2, you may not look at your army outside of your base. That is all. These are concrete rules that form the boundary for all of Step 1. You might ask, can I build turrets? The answer would be, you may not mine gas. You might ask, can I get upgrades? The answer would be, you may not mine gas. So before you ask, try your hand at some logic and see if the question can be answered by one of these two rules. You can do anything that the rules do not say you cannot do. So start exploring the game and learn about all the things that cost only minerals. They are the foundation of Terran. Here are some examples. You could proxy 2 racks. You could 1 racks expand. You could go 14 command center before barracks. When it comes down to it, you're learning to do 3 things. Supply, units, money. Supply means check your supply and make sure your maximum supply stays about 10 ahead of your current supply. Units means to make Marines and SCVs. Never have more than 2 in each queue at a time. Money means check to see if you have resources in the bank after putting up to 2 in each queue. If you do, build more barracks and or command centers. Then go back to checking your supply. As a side note, it's a good idea to turn your command centers into orbital commands. Once you do this, make sure you keep your energy below 200 at each command center at all points in the game. GG Tracker will let you know how you've done at the end. When you have a good chunk of Marines, send them across the map to attack your opponent. When you win, it will be by the sheer power of macro that you overwhelm your opponent. When you lose, your opponent will have either made more stuff than you, or made smart decisions to take advantage of your self-imposed restriction. But the best part about macro is, even if they know it's coming, even if they know how to beat it, if their macro isn't strong enough, they will lose, and there is nothing that will save them. Remember, win or lose, your goal is to pass. Upload your replay to ggtracker.com and check your benchmarks. If all of your benchmarks meet or exceed your league goal, you have passed. When you have passed 4 out of your last 5 games, it's time to move on to Step 2.